The Curse of Blackwald. Chapter 3. When the moon wept, the physicians gave Eleanor 3 days. Some lasted a week, others turned before sunrise. No one truly understood the curse that had escaped from the depths of the Blackwald. Only whispered stories reached the people of Gilneas, savage beasts that had once been men, driven mad by a curse tied to ancient druidic magic. Those bitten and left alive faced a fate many believed was worse than death. Edric refused to accept it. He carried Eleanor away from Blackwald Manor to his family's secluded hunting cabin, deep within the hills overlooking the sea. It was a place they had once dreamed of making their own, a quiet home where laughter would one day replace the silence of the woods. Now it became a prison. The first night was peaceful. She slept in his arms. The second, she began to shiver despite the fire roaring in the hearth. "I can hear them," she whispered. Edric looked up. Hear who? The wolves. There was nothing outside, only snow. "They're calling my name." He tightened his embrace. "There are no wolves." She smiled sadly. "Yep, you don't hear them because they're calling for me." By the third day, Eleanor's senses had sharpened beyond anything human. She knew when deer walked half a mile from the cabin. She could hear Edric's heartbeat from another room. The smell of fresh blood from a cut on his hand made her recoil in horror. "I hate this," she sobbed. "You are still Eleanor." "For now." She stopped eating. Bread tasted like ash, vegetables made her ill, only raw meat eased the burning hunger in her stomach. Each bite made her cry. Each meal felt like another piece of herself slipping away. Edric never left her side. He read her favorite poems. He repaired the broken music box as best he could. Though one dancer remained shattered, the melody still played. One evening she watched the tiny figures turn. "Do you remember?" she asked. "The ballroom? You stepped on my foot. You stepped on mine first." She laughed, and it sounded almost normal. "I lied." "What about?" "The first day we met." "You mean with the priest?" She nodded. "I wasn't arguing." "You certainly sounded like it." "I had gone there hoping to see you." Edric blinked. "You knew who I was?" "My maid told me about the handsome carpenter who repaired toys for poor children without charging them." He smiled. "So you broke your mother's music box on purpose?" She grinned weakly. "It wasn't very difficult." He laughed until tears rolled down his face. Not because it was funny, because he feared it would be the last time he ever heard her laugh. That night, the moon was full. The forest fell silent. Every bird, every insect, every living thing seemed to hold its breath. Eleanor awoke screaming, her body convulsed, bones cracked with sounds no living creature should make. Her fingers lengthened into claws. Dark grey fur erupted across her arms. Her jaw pushed forward as sharp teeth forced their way through bleeding gums. Edric rushed toward her. "Eleanor, run!" she screamed. Her voice broke between human words and guttural growls. "Please, I won't leave you." "Run!" She threw him across the cabin with strength no human woman could possess. He crashed into the table. The repaired music box struck the floor. It sprang open. Its gentle melody filled the room. For one fleeting instant, the transformation stopped. The creature looked toward the music. Its golden eyes widened. A single tear rolled through newly grown fur. "Edric!" It was barely a whisper. He crawled toward her. "I'm here." She looked at him with unbearable sadness. "I can't." Her body jerked violently. The curse reclaimed her. The Worgen roared, not in anger, in agony. Then it burst through the cabin wall and disappeared into the snowy forest. Edric followed, without hesitation, without weapon, without fear, only love. He tracked her through the woods until dawn. Villages lay abandoned. Royal soldiers marched toward the front lines. Rumors spread that the kingdom itself was collapsing as the curse swept through Gilneas faster than anyone could contain it. None of it mattered. He searched only for her. He found Eleanor at the cliffs overlooking the sea, the same cliffs where he had first confessed his love. She stood upon the frozen stone in her Worgen form, staring into the crashing waves below. Her breathing came in ragged gasps. She had not fed. She was fighting with every shred of the woman she had once been. Slowly, she turned. Those glowing golden eyes met his. Recognition, pain, love. It was all still there, buried beneath the beast. She spoke with terrible effort. "Go. I'm not leaving. You have to. I'm staying with you." Her claws dug into the stone. "I can smell your blood. So, I want—" She buried her face in trembling hands. "I want to kill you." Edric stepped closer anyway. "I know." She let out a broken sob. "I've tried all morning to remember your face." He smiled gently. "You don't have to remember." "I do." "You don't." "What if I forget your voice?" "Then I'll keep talking." "What if I forget your name?" "I'll tell you every day." "What if—" Her voice broke completely. "What if I forget that I love you?" Edric closed the distance between them. He reached out slowly. Every instinct screamed that he should run. Instead, he placed his hand against the side of her enormous lupine face. She flinched, but she did not strike. "You once told me everyone's future was uncertain." A tear slipped from his eye. "You were right." He rested his forehead against hers. "I love every part of you." The beast closed its eyes. For one miraculous heartbeat, Eleanor returned. "I love you too." Then the wind shifted. It carried his scent. Warm, living, human, the curse won. Her eyes flew open. The hunger was no longer hers. She threw herself backward with every ounce of strength remaining, hurling her own body over the cliff's edge before the beast could lunge at him. "No!" Edric screamed. He reached for her. His fingertips brushed fur for the briefest instant. Then she was gone. Far below, the waves crashed violently against the jagged rocks. The sea swallowed her without mercy. For hours, Edric searched the shoreline. He found no body, only the broken half of the music box that had somehow fallen from his pocket during his desperate chase. One tiny dancer remained. The other was gone. Weeks later, Gilneas itself fell into chaos. The curse spread beyond Blackwald, and the kingdom was consumed by tragedy. Survivors fled alongside King Gen Greymane, leaving behind the only home they had ever known. Edric never boarded the evacuation ships. Each evening, no matter the weather, he returned to the cliffs where Eleanor had made her final choice. He would open the damaged music box. The lonely melody, now imperfect and missing notes, drifted over the sea. Sometimes, on moonlit nights, another sound answered. Not a savage howl, not the cry of a beast, a single mournful note that lingered on the wind before fading into the surf. Edric never knew whether it was only the wind, or whether somewhere in the endless forests and forgotten shores of Gilneas, a soul that had chosen love over bloodshed was still trying to remember the man she had died to save. And so the tale of Edric Ashcombe and Eleanor Hawthorne became one more sorrow buried beneath the mists of Gilneas, a kingdom forever haunted not only by monsters, but by the lives they stole before the curse ever claimed their bodies.